The Greek Diaspora, also known as the Hellenistic Diaspora, refers to Greek communities and people living outside of their homeland. Greek Diaspora began when the Greeks started to colonize and trade with the Balkans and Asia Minor. This interaction with others spread the Greek culture, religion, and language around the Mediterranean. From our reading this week of Greek settler communities Central and South Asia, 323 BCE to 10 CE, by Rachel Mairs, we learn that in these areas outside of Greece, the people developed their own distinctive cultures while remaining in contact with and considering themselves to be part of a wider Greek world. In our reading, it also showed that the Greeks of Bactria and Egypt had an ambivalent relationship with Greece, and they celebrated their heritage with a shrine that contained a Greek inscription. One way that the Greeks were able to feel part of a wider Greek world was by having their Greek citizenship. If your parents were both Greek citizens, then you were granted citizenship upon your birth. Receiving Greek citizenship not only played an important role in keeping ties to Greece strong while its people left the homeland, but also comes with the benefits to the individual as well. If you lived within the Greek Empire and were not a Greek citizen, then you were subjected to more taxes than one with Greek ethnicity, and you could also not take part in government, nor did they have many rights at all. Due to this, Greek citizenship improved your life and became very valuable. Today in Greece, there are different ways to gain your citizenship. If you are born in Greece, regardless of your parents' origin, you are granted citizenship. You can also gain citizenship if you have lived in Greece and wish to apply for it. Although there have been changes to citizenship laws, the ancient one still remains, but is modified. If your parents or grandparents from either side of your family are from Greece, you are entitled to citizenship, and this process is now called naturalization. Presently, having your Greek citizenship allows you to take part in government just as it did in the Hellenistic era, but there is no longer an extra tax laid upon non-citizens. Citizenship today in Greece also means that you are part of the European Union, which gives welfare advantages such as healthcare and free education. Being a member of the European Union also allows one to travel freely between any European Union nation without borders. Many other benefits come with being part of the European Union, such as common currency called the euro, the opportunity for young people to study in another country and experience new cultures, freedom to job search in a variety of countries, and free trade within the European Union. Being a Greek citizen has always had its advantages, both in the Hellenistic era and the contemporary period, and it has helped the Greek culture stay strong and alive around the world.
The existence of a strong cultural identity across different and far regions connected the periphery of Greek influence to its motherland. Archaeological evidence from Bactria could give a hint to how settlers saw themselves. An example would be from an inscription on a tomb. The Stele of Sophitos had verses describing a man's story from the first person's perspective. From it we understand that he was from the upper class who had set out to bring wealth and honor back to his family, reclaiming lost influence and wealth for his descendants. The inscription is important due to the articulate language used. He references Greek classics as well as obscure Homerian vocabulary, which signified how educated and familiar this man was with Greek culture, as though he had lived in Greece itself, but in fact he was at the edge of the known world. Even though the Greeks preserved their heritage proudly, the Greek settlers also became well integrated with local populations to an extent that they would rebel together with local populations against common enemies. They also adopted cultural habits and traditions, including administrative institutions that were left by their Persian predecessors. The fusion of Greek and local cultures of ancient Bactria is most clear when we look at the archaeological finds of their architectural style, which although had a Greek influence, it still remained distinct from the architecture found in Greece, local influence fused with Greek. The fusion was not only for symbolic purposes but also practical, such as the house designs in Bactria that were better suited for local temperature and prevailing winds in the region. Greek cultural identity also served as a tool in diplomacy, sometimes ending wars and possible feuds for the sake of keeping their guard up against the other. An example would be from the wars between the Greco-Bactrian kingdom and the Seleucids, who realized the danger of being overwhelmed by local nomads of the region. Thus they chose to end hostilities and regroup their armies. From this example, we can see that the Seleucids chose to tolerate a Greek rebel state over a new barbarian enemy, whom they shared even less with. Today, the Greek diaspora is still very similar to their ancestors. They still maintain a strong cultural identity while simultaneously intermingling and being part of the local populations. The clear similarities and differences between the different Greek diasporas can be noticed by looking at different groups across different varying regions and cultures, making each Greek diaspora unique in some way as a result of local influences. That's all for the presentation. Thank you.